What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to talk about The Perfect Neighbor. This is a new Netflix documentary. It's not made by Netflix. It was acquired by Netflix, so for those of you who are allergic to things that are made by Netflix, please watch this. It premiered at the 2025 Sundance Film Festival, where it was acquired by Netflix for, well, distribution. I don't know if they're going to run an FYC campaign for it. I think they should. This is one of my favorite documentaries of the year. And it's definitely, it came across my radar. I did not know much about it. I don't remember every single film that ever opened at Sundance. Uh, so, and this came across my radar because I'm part of Critics Association of Central Florida, and this took place in Central Florida, so this is a potential contender for our Best Central Florida Film of the Year nomination slash prize. There really aren't a whole lot of films that are in Central Florida, so it's like it's slim pickings. You got to have more than one to have a nomination slash vote. Last year we had 2 films and we picked 1, so there are going to be at least 2 films. I mean, I can't say for sure this is going to be one, but I would be shocked. There's just, if we shot more movies in this area, sure, but we don't. And oddly enough, this isn't really a film that was shot in a traditional style. It's all body camera footage. It's this actual incident, this real thing that happened that made headlines nationwide, where this crazy bitch shot somebody through a door. I'm going to say that. I'm going to put that out there in the world because that's my opinion of this. I watched a documentary on her. There's nothing about her that makes me think anything normal is happening here. I was just the whole time, and I don't think anybody in her neighborhood thought anything about, like, they keep interviewing like other neighbors. So what happens is we start sort of at the beginning. And this lady, Susan, has been complaining about people for a long time. She's just complaining about everybody. People in her yard. She's always calling the cops, and the cops just keep rolling up. And somebody has done something. And there are other witnesses or other neighbors, and they're all like, "That didn't happen. No, that kid. That's the woman that always yells at kids." And they don't say it's AJ's kids. AJ was the mother who was shot and has passed. So there's a tragic end to this. And I think her name is Ajiki. They call her AJ a lot though, so that I'm assuming that's what she liked to be called. And her kids play outside, which is great. Like, we should celebrate that. There's even a point where where there's a cop that walks up to the kids and is like, I love seeing you guys outside instead of on TikTok. Like, so true. So true. Like, I played outside as a kid too, and I think there's so many neighborhoods now where it just doesn't feel safe, where people are driving too fast. Even in my neighborhood, I live in like a suburban-ish type of neighborhood, but we've had kids that have been hit and killed on their bikes because people drive too fast through I'm not on a main drag. These are like, we had to put down speed bumps so that people would stop driving like maniacs through this fucking area. So it's like, this is like, we can't have nice things anymore. So these kids, there's like, I guess, some grassy area field thing, and they play in this field. It's not hers. The cops go and they ask the guy whose field it is, and he's like, "Yeah, that's my field," and they can play there. He's not bothered by it at all. Like, no one is bothered but her. She's the lone person that is bothered by this incident, by anything that ever goes on. I'm like, do you have a job? Do you ever leave? Do you go anywhere? Do you do anything? What do you do except call 911 all the time? Because you're constantly triggered by children. So yeah, this does not go in a good direction. Eventually, tensions boil over. But before that, you do see, like, she has other complaints. Like, she has one that's filed against her for damaging property, and the cop handles that rather well. By the way, the Marion County Police Department come across looking like the most patient people on earth, like the patience of Job, you know, like they have to put up with so much craziness and they're nothing but respectful. Obviously their body cams are on, but still, you know, they make a couple cracks as they like exit and get into a car, and they're just like, oh god, it's this lady again, you know, like, um, but yeah, you get the whole thing all the way up through. So obviously it's a tough film to watch because it's body cam. So the eventual shooting that happens, you hear, you know, because she did call 911. You hear the gunshot. You hear the body cam when the people show up and they have to call the dad to come because the kids are. There's also, I think, door cam footage. I think they compiled the door cam footage of one of the little kids running to a neighbor and getting help, and the kid is like shaking and crying because his mom just got shot, and is trying to get help from a neighbor, and just like a tremendous experience to go through this. And then after sort of the body camera footage runs out and they've arrested her, then you have like interrogation footage and then eventually like courtroom footage. So it's all presented like without commentary. So there isn't like a narrator that comes in and out. There aren't like there aren't talking heads that come in and out of this to try to give you like color on like, well, in this situation, what should have happened was this. And they don't go back through and interview people, like interview neighbors and be like, do you remember that day? Do you remember living through that day? It's not one of those movies. It's all factual. It's all actual like body camera footage. It's all shit that really happened where you can't look at it and be like, well, that didn't happen. It didn't happen that way. It did happen that way. This is the actual footage of it. So it's more of like a feat of editing and sort of a great idea than it is anything else. But it is one of my favorite documentary features of the year. I wish Netflix would submit this because I'd love to see the documentary branch have to contend with whether or not to nominate something like this, because it is so well done and so well made and so well structured. And it's just a little over an hour and a half. And I was in it the whole time. And I've reviewed a couple films this year where I've been like, there's, you know, films like Just Sing or John Candy, I Like Me, which are more like warm movies that are happy, or not necessarily perpetually happy, but they're just happier movies. And I'm like, I like these movies and I'm glad these movies exist, but I know at the end of the day, because I know what kind of movies I vote for and which movies always top my documentary feature list, and it's always one that rocks my world. It's always one that just takes me and shows me something that I didn't know anything about and just emotionally drags my soul. And I feel like that happened here. So I feel like The Perfect Neighbor is in contention. The problem is I've also got some disability docs, and I'm a disabled film critic, and I am now far more moved by disability docs than I am previously than I was before. So documentaries like Deaf President Now and Marley Matlin, Not Alone Anymore, mean a lot more to me in terms of representation, even though those are both for deaf communities. It's still disability representation. Last year we had some others that were centric on it as well. There's also a PBS documentary called Caregiving. But this is way up there. Like, I saw Bodyguard of Lies. I thought that one was going to be up there, but this is above Bodyguard of Lies for me. This is one of the best things I've seen this year, one of the best documentaries this year. I can't imagine it's not in my top 5. Whether or not it is my best documentary 2025, I don't know. But it could be. So I have to ruminate on that more. I have to be further away from it. It's sort of if you watch critics right now, and if you watch the other YouTubers who are trying to do Oscar predictions, and they're living in a one battle after another moment, and they don't realize they are. So they're just predicting one battle after another in like 14 categories, which is the same thing they did after Sinners. So when you hit a bubble, you hit a bubble, and then you're all in that bubble, you're all in that glory, and it's hard to realize that there could be something outside of that bubble. So I hesitate to say this is my favorite documentary of the year just because I know there will be more, but could this be? Absolutely. So please check this out. It's on Netflix. I thought the audio description was amazing. I'm very disappointed that there wasn't credits deeper than Descriptive Video Works. I think it's Julian Smith that did the narration. I have to guess because I wasn't given actual credits as to who wrote and narrated this. It's like my favorite documentary audio description of the year. I thought they handled it really well. The body camera footage, the stuff that they chose to weave in when they had opportunities to. I thought everything was very complimentary of the situation of the movie. It's one of my favorite audio description tracks of the year as well, too, which is really hard for documentary. Documentary is one of the branches that I give a lot of leeway to because so often we have talking head documentaries where you just keep bouncing around from person to person and there's no room for audio description or substantial audio description. Sort of like if you were to try to audio describe what I've said, I haven't given you many stops. There aren't many breaks. What the fuck are you going to describe, you know? So, where? So, because the number one rule of audio description is to not trample dialogue. So, if there's no break, if there's nowhere to put audio description, then sometimes I listen to films where I'm like, well, there's really nothing else they could have done with that. So, I don't know where. But this has a lot of really rich, fantastic audio description. I love this movie, but I'm heartbroken as to the fact that this movie ever existed and needed to exist. And I'm so glad that justice was served, and you'll see that at the end of the movie. So I'm gonna give The Perfect Neighbor 9.5 out of 10. I think it was one of the best movies of the year. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.